What will happen when the nanny thief comes to the Simpsons house? Boz will pull out the rope to scare off Bart and Lisa. She'll come down to the basement looking for Bart. Bart will fall out of the closet when Boz opens the door. Lisa, who was on the phone under the table, would be caught by Boz. Boz ties them to the couch. She smashed the phone against the wall, sealed Bart's mouth with a bandage. Maggie grabbed the boom and jumped into the pile of toys, opened the door and saw Boz rummaging around. Maggie crept down the stairs. She went into the living room to watch TV. Bart kept banging his head on the couch. Maggie untied Bart and Lisa. Boz saw Maggie and tried to grab her. She opened the door and Bart knocked her to the ground. Bart escaped through the window with Maggie and Lisa on his back. They went to a phone booth and called the police. Mr. and Mrs. Homer arrived at the house. They untied Boz. Homer took her luggage and put it in the car and paid her a large sum of money. Boz drove off and the police arrived. Homer let go of this nanny thief Boz. It all started when Mr. and Mrs. Homer went off on their own. They called a babysitter to take care of the kids. Marge looks in the mirror and puts on her earrings. Homer shaved in the mirror. He threw foam at Bart and drove him away. Then the doorbell rang. Bart slides down the stairs and opens the door. Boz moved into the Simpsons house with his suitcase. Mr. and Mrs. Homer went out in costume. Did you know that Homer almost jumped in a river to kill himself? Homer drives a toy car to work and eats donuts. When he saw Bart, he hit a pipe. A large amount of noxious gas gushed out. The crew shut down the gas line on the spot. Under questioning by the supervisor, Homer was identified as the culprit. Homer was fired. He fixes his hair and goes to a job interview.
Don't give up, Dad.
He went to the bar to drink, emptied his pocket, but didn't find any money. He had to go home. Marge delivered food on rollerblades. Homer lies at home and signs the kids' report cards. He went to the refrigerator and saw the cake the kids had prepared, and throws it away. Homer sneaks into Bart's room. He steals Bart's piggy bank. He cracked it open and found only a few coins. Homer grabbed a piece of paper and a pen, and wrote a suicide note to his family. Then he tied a rock to his body. He opened the creaking door with the rock in his arms. He fixed the door and looked at home with tears in his eyes. He carried the stone to the street. A car came at him. He dodged it. He went to the river.
Well, living hard.
His family had arrived. A car was coming toward them. Homer saved his family by dragging the stone with him. He renounces suicide and decides to put a stop sign on the street. What happens when Bart turns into a ninja thief? Homer takes Bart around the corner and meets the citizens. They come at Bart with torches. Bart walked through the alley holding Jebediah's portrait. The citizens surround him. He climbed up the statue and let the citizens listen to his sophistry. It all started when he pulled the rope from the window and slid off his skateboard. When he saw Jimbo, he hit a pole. They invited him to a free movie. The crew found them and threw them out. They went to the store while he was ordering. They stole the goods. Bart paid the bill and turned his head without the men. He found them. They went to the statue in Springfield, continuously smashing statues with stones. Bart told them about Jebediah's accomplishments. They laughed at him.
How important is it to be popular?
Being popular is the most important thing in the world.
He opened the door and saw a sleeping Homer. He slid down the slide. He went through the window and covered the cat's mouth. Over the window, through the alley, he came to the statue of the founder, pulls out a saw, and sawed off the head of the statue. This outraged the citizens of Springfield. Bart carried the head to Jimbo. Jimbo said he was going to kill the man who sawed it off. Fearful, Bart carried the statue on his back. He went home, dug a hole, and threw the statue in. Bart carries the statue to Homer. Homer led Bart to the citizens. Bart put the head back on the statue. The citizens forgave him.